said, it's not a simple matter of just taking out a helicopter and some launch sites, because number one, those things are hard to find, as the Saudis found out after years of trying overwhelming firepower to get rid of the Houthis' capabilities, and they never succeeded completely. So the Houthis are threatening today that they would directly attack American interests if we take out their launch sites or attack them. And whether they mean that or whether they don't, we don't know. But we can't, it'd be tough to risk doing that, because that could expand the war and have a number of other consequences. Yet you can't do nothing. You can't just allow them to interdict shipping like that. And right now what we're doing with these ships is protecting and shooting down the drones and missiles when they come. But Liz, some of those interceptor missiles are in the multi-million dollars, and some of the drones are like $1,000 a pop. We can't do that long term.
So what's the answer then? Because, you know, we don't want anybody injured, you know, by these Houthi attacks. And also reports out of China and the Far East indicate the cost of shipping cargo from China to Europe and to the U.S. from Asia will double. I mean, we got more companies abandoning the Red Sea trade route. They're getting rerouted. Right. So what's the answer?
Right. The truth is, there's not an easy, obvious answer to go after, because everything you do carries risk. Doing nothing carries risk. Attacking the Houthis carries risk, and you just don't know what you're going to get into. Now, the Houthis are saying that all of this is because of the war going on between Hamas and Israel, and if Israel stops this war, or once it's concluded, then they would also stop shooting the missiles in there.
They may not stop, though.
They may not stop. That's true. So the issue is, if you say, we're going to have to start taking them out, that is a course of action you can take, and it may cut it down, but we may end up with more problems on the other side of that, and it's impossible to know this side of that.
I mean, you know, the thing is, shipping rates are already up about 70% from November to December. These high prices will be passed along to consumers. Hillary Vaughn just is also saying that. Consumers are already reeling from, we've been struggling, America's been struggling from record high inflation. It has been trending down, but compounded, it's up 17.3%, 17.4% under this White House. You could see supply shortages, longer delivery delays. So why did President Biden remove the Houthis as a terror organization from the U.S. terror watch list? Should the president put them back on the list? They're backed by Iran.
Yeah. I mean, that may be a course of action. That may be something that we could threaten them with, to just say, hey, this is going to cost you more than what you're getting out of it, because there's a lot of things that come with that designation. Now, at the time he did it, it probably made some sense, because we were trying to work with Saudi Arabia to lower tensions over there, and that was fine then. Now it's a new set of conditions, and that might not be a bad course of action to go first before we get into kinetic action.
Interesting stuff, Colonel. Let's move to this story. I want to get you updated on what's going on in the Gaza Strip with the war against Hamas and the terrorists there. We've got more on the story that we've been reporting on starting last week and the week before. Colonel, we're seeing more and more people in Gaza. The people of Gaza are publicly and openly slamming and criticizing Hamas terrorists. The Gazans are increasingly blaming Hamas for the suffering and destruction in Gaza. Hamas just rejected Israel's offer of a 7-day truce in exchange for 40 hostages, but more and more people are speaking out in the Gaza Strip against Hamas. So what does that tell you about what the far left has been saying about Israel's war with Hamas? What does it tell you about the campus protests, anti-Israel protests, when you see the people of Gaza now standing up and saying, Hamas, you're wrong, you've got to go?
Well, yeah, we also, though, have to look very carefully at what they're actually saying. They are starting to blame Hamas more because they brought this horrific rain of death down on them, but they're also still blaming Israel for launching those bombs. And so the hatred is really growing a lot for them against Israel. So it's not helping in that regard. What they're looking for is to find a different political entity or a different set of leaders within the Palestinian grouping, the people that live there, so that they can try to negotiate some kind of settlement. And that's actually, frankly, something that the Israelis could take advantage of by saying, look, you guys have to find somebody other than Hamas to lead you. And if you can turn against them, and then we can offer you some incentives to actually end this war. That's something that they should pursue, as opposed to just ignoring all that and blowing up everything, and that's just going to build up more trouble for them in the future.